Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. In this video, we're going to show you how to remove and replace the differential cover, which is also the same as changing the differential fluid for the back or the rear of this 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. You'll probably want to jack and jack stands, although you don't have to jack the vehicle up. It does make it a lot easier. And you will also need a 13mm socket and ratchet. Raise and support the vehicle, then have a catch pan underneath, and then you have 10 13mm bolts that you have to remove, and they're easy enough. I just have them using a small wrench just to show you. They shouldn't be tightened that much. They should be tightened about 12 to 15 foot-pounds each, so they should come apart fairly easily. And I'm not going to bore you with watching me take out every one, so we'll skip forward a little bit. Okay, and now we've got all the bolts out. I'm working on the last 3. Okay, and as I start loosening up this last bottom one, you'll start seeing some fluid dripping out of the rear end. That's exactly why you want to have a catch pan underneath. Now I've removed my catch pan up closer. Take a screwdriver, just pry a little bit on the cover, get the fluid coming out faster, and then just wait for it to stop draining. Fast forward here, as I just remove those last 2 bolts after the dripping of the fluid has slowed down quite a bit. Now we want to carefully remove that gasket, and again, be careful with it because you do want to reuse it. Use some rags, paper towels, whatever, and just clean as much dirt and gunk off as you can. The more the better. The more you get out, the less is floating around in there. If you want, put it in neutral, spin it around, and keep wiping it off. Okay, now your pan, same thing. This is where you're actually going to see quite a bit of gunk. You can actually use some gasoline or mineral spirits. I'm going to go over to my parts washer and clean that all up. Got my differential cleaned off. Here's my cover. I cleaned it off. This here is a magnet. Okay, you want to make sure you clean that off really well, because what that does is, as these gears grind together, they shave just teeny microscopic pieces off, and that magnet just catches them and holds them. Okay, so the gasket that came off, that you want to reuse it. And the only change I'm going to make is I'm going to make, you can see there's more, you can see there's a little more rust and stuff. That was the bottom. I'm actually going to make that the top now, just so it seals. It's more important to get a good seal on the bottom than the top. The other thing I did in my cover, I scraped off any scale, and then I put a very, very, very thin coat of gasket sealant on it, just where it was scaly. Just to make sure that it gets a good seal. So what I'm going to do, put 1 bolt through, grab my gasket. Okay. Put my bolt through there. Grab my gasket over here. Another bolt right there. Put it up into place. Start those 2. Okay, I'm just going to speed up as I install the rest of the bolts, and then we'll skip the part where I tighten them preliminarily with a wrench, and we'll go right to torquing them. and you want to torque them to 12 foot-pounds each, and you kind of want to cross. So I do the top, and then I go down to a bottom, and then I kind of go over the side, then the opposite side, until I think I've done them all, and then I actually go start at the bottom and go in order right around, just to make sure that they've all been torqued properly. To fill your rear end, you're going to find a plug with a 3/8 hole in it here. What you might want to do is give it some good taps with a hammer. Just helps to break it loose. And then make sure your extension of your ratchet goes well in there. And then pull it and break it loose. Okay, now you're going to want to use an 80 W90 lubricant, and it's going to take 1.75 liters, which is basically almost 2 of these bottles. And a little accessory that I have for these occasions is a little tube, so I can just put the bottle up here. Okay, so as I'm filling the last of my fluid, I'm going to put that right up there, and what I'm going to watch for is the fluid to come running down there, and that's when I know it's got enough. Okay, I'm starting to see it drip down, so now I can put my plug back in. And if I look at that, I took a full one of these and almost 3/4 of one, so the amount's about right. Put the plug in. Use my ratchet. Okay. You don't have to make it incredibly tight because you want to be able to get it apart again at a later date. Just kind of wipe everything down. Wipe down the bottom of your differential cover really well. That way you can, after you drive it for a little while, you can just check down here, see if you see any dripping. If you see some dripping, then you can tighten up your bolts on your cover just a little bit more. That'll usually stop it if it does drip.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.